Many thanks to Felix Direction Squad, Clash from the servers, Sergeant Pepper servers, Sea of Doors Cloud, Dallas, the Struggle Community, the Karma Crew servers, Dots, Designful, and Friendly a DayZ podcast for making this video possible. The melee weapons of DayZ are far more complex than players realise, as every single swing packs a mountain of hidden stats like shock and health damage, swing speed, time to kill, durability, and even bleed chance. So in this video I'm going to be cutting through the noise and exposing the shockingly underrated melee weapons that pros use, why the knife is better than any axe in DayZ, along with finally crowning the king of melee combat. The two most important stats on melee weapons are health damage and shock damage, but these two come in a variety of flavors when considering normal attacks versus heavy attacks versus how quickly each of those attacks can be delivered. In terms of normal damage then, or normal attacks, you're going to be swinging faster and doing less damage per hit, whereas heavy attacks are slower but do more damage per hit. And then on top of that, you need to consider the benefits of stunning versus the amount of stamina you're using heavy attacks. So melee weapons, they're pretty damn complex, and which one is best for you is also based on how aggressive or defensive you are in melee combat and what you're attacking. To narrow down this complexity then, the best melee weapon for defensive players that focus on blocking and timing their attacks versus infected or the intention of killing a player outright are high damage per hit melee weapons, with these 5 tiers here being the best for normal attacks and these over here being the best for heavy attacks. What might surprise you here is how powerful the combat knife, hunting knife, and the AR bayonets are, doing as much health damage as a fire axe when it comes to normal health damage attacks. When considering how much faster these are at attacking compared to the fire axe, it's easy to see why these are the best melee weapons in DayZ when it comes to doing health damage quickly, and as a result, these 4 are easily, in my book, the best melee weapons in DayZ for aggressive players. When comparing the health damage per second of these 4, they rank in S tier for both normal and heavy attacks. For the more defensive player though, the ones that aren't going to be spamming their attacks, the fire axe is the king of single well-placed heavy attacks, but it's only 18% more damage per heavy attack than these 4 here, with these 4 being 36% faster, giving enemies much less time to react and block your attacks. These 4 also top the time to kill rankings, which is basically how quickly a melee weapon can kill a player from full health, yet the fire axe is in C tier here, again due to its slow attack speed. On the normal attack time to kill rankings, the fire axe doesn't even get included in the top 5 tiers, as doing normal attacks with a fire axe is not effective at all, with a frickin' hacksaw killing a player faster or killing an infected faster than a fire axe. The only case where the fire axe is better then is heavy attacks, and absolutely dominates when it comes to heavy attacks to the head of non-military infected, making it the only weapon in DayZ that can effectively one-hit kill an infected. Against a player though, the fire axe cannot one-hit kill, so it means that these 4 weapons are better even when it comes to headshots, crowning these 4 as the best melee weapons in DayZ versus players that you want to kill and all infected in the game, not just non-military infected like the fire axe, but they are only the best when it comes to heavy attacks. The 2 best weapons in the game when it comes to normal attacks, surprisingly, are the field shovel and the ice axe, killing players and infected with normal attacks even slightly faster than these 4 here. However, because heavy attacks stun and they can kill infected and players faster than using a chain of normal attacks, these 4 are the best in DayZ when it comes to using stamina. If you have the stamina, these 4 are the best, but the most slept on weapons in DayZ, I believe, when it comes to melee weapons, are the ice axe and the field shovel, because when you don't have that stamina, these are the best 2 weapons in DayZ, with these 2 also being better than the fire axe statistically in more ways than one. The complex world of melee weapons becomes even more complicated when it comes to shock damage, as defensive players won't be able to KO players as fast as aggressive players can. This is because everybody's shock stat will start to decay after 1 second of not taking any damage, so if you're looking to KO a player, being aggressive is a much bigger advantage to being defensive, as the longer you wait between attacks, the longer it will take to KO a player. With that said, it makes the time to KO ranks much more important here, with the god tier mace KOing a player in just 0.7 seconds with a heavy attack. It's only 1 hit to the torso to do so. This makes the sledgehammer worse by 55% when it comes to requiring a KO, as it's 55% slower at getting that KO. On top of this, for normal attacks, the sledgehammer is in D tier, with the fire broom KOing at the same time. So the fire broom is on par with the sledgehammer for normal attacks, and shockingly, the lead pipe is better than the sledgehammer when you're using just normal attacks. So if you're using the sledgehammer with normal attacks, you are doing it very wrong. The Yellow King helmet is also pretty strong when it comes to normal attacks to KO players, which I wasn't expecting at all, with the lit torch being pretty lit for KOing players, mostly due to the insane attack speed that the lit torch has. It's very clear which weapon is best for KOing though. You can see the differences. It's absolutely astonishing how good the mace is, and based on the shock per second ranks, I would say that it's pretty clear that heavy attacks output damage faster than normal attacks, and this is the case when it comes to health damage and shock damage, and shock attacks will down players much faster than killing them. So this means that shock damage can down a player almost 3 times faster in nearly all cases compared to trying to kill them. With heavy attacks, some melee weapons here do KO in one hit when it comes to headshotting players. It's not easy to headshot a player that's moving around, so the pipe wrench, brass knuckles, shovel and any baseball bat in DayZ will KO, as any weapon that has above 37.5 shock damage per hit or higher will KO somebody if you hit them in the head, where the mace and the sledgehammer can KO with just a torso attack, as that's 75 shock, and 75 shock is required to KO a player. To conclude then, the best melee weapons to KO players after the mace in this order are the sledgehammer, brass knuckles, followed by any of these 6. They're going to do you good. The tire iron, the lead pipe, the hammer, and even the meat tenderizer can KO at the same speed that the pipe wrench can. Swing speed means a lot in DayZ. If not hitting a player in the head, the pipe wrench will KO in one hit with a hit to the head. So these 4 here are all starter weapons, and I believe are super slept on for their free hit early game potential. They do 25 shock damage per hit with a heavy attack, and you can do 3 heavy attacks very quickly with these weapons, so they are very powerful weapons for the early game. From the results of the best melee weapons to kill and KO players, most of them are fast weapons, so in general faster weapons tend to be better, which is a huge bonus when it comes to bleed chance too, as each time you hit a target, successfully a player, you have a chance to cause a bleed, with these 5 tiers ranking the very best percentages. Do bear in mind though that nearly all clothing in DayZ reduces the chance of a bleed, with late game clothing offering the best protection and some clothing offering immunity to bleeds, but against naked players or players wearing ruined clothing, the fire axe and the Yellow King helmet will cause a bleed on every single hit, with the A tier containing the 4 best weapons we spoke about earlier to kill and to stack up those bleeds quickly, so they are very effective at causing bleeds too. The downside of faster weapons though is durability, as it makes no difference what you hit in DayZ. This is very important to know. A weapon's durability gets reduced by 0.35 if it hits anything at all, from flesh to a base wall to solid concrete. It's all the same, with normal and heavy attacks damaging the weapon exactly the same. So at the same rate, heavy attacks don't cause more damage to your weapon, and what the weapon is made of makes no difference here too. So a wooden bat does not degrade faster than a metal pipe. The only stat that matters is total durability, or rather the health that the melee weapon has. While these knives are best to kill, the drawback is maintenance due to their low total durability and their very fast attack speed, but a pristine weapon does the exact same damage as a badly damaged one, so low durability is the only drawback that these 4 top tier weapons have. They are the ultimate tool for dealing with infected, because you can also get that sneak attack there, with one of these 4 being a must-have item when it comes to being a geared player. To crown the king of melee weapons in DayZ though, statistically it is very clearly the mace. It is a monster, as you can see, and is so far out in front I'd be surprised if the devs don't nerf this thing. It's the only god tier melee weapon in the game, but any of these 15 under the mace are still top tier. They're going to do you good. Any of these weapons are going to be good, with what you use these weapons for being much more important than these general rankings here. A better way to see which weapon is best for you then is to compare it to weapons you like using. So if you like using axes, you can compare all the axes, All the stats are on WOBO tools right now for everybody to use as of today, so we can see which weapons are the best and which ones are the worst. You can see all of the worst weapons in DayZ here when it comes to melee weapons. Let me know if you believe I'm wrong in crowning these 4 plus the mace as the best melee weapons in DayZ, depending on what you want to do with them, or if you want to add to the list of slept weapons in DayZ. I am completely shocked that the meat tenderizer can free hit KO players. This is going to be game changing for me. Hopefully it is for you too. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.